Hey, how's it going, everybody? Now, I've been thinking of a video for the turn of the year, and I was watching YouTube and I found a channel that had an interesting idea, so I'm deciding to steal it completely. And what I'm going to do is go and look back on the channel at the first carving video that I ever recorded. And I'm doing this for a number of reasons. So one, just to see how far we've come. Two, because I think you can learn a lot from checking out what I did early on and what I realized I was doing incorrectly, and especially in terms of getting Opal to look like Opal on camera, which I know a lot of you guys struggle with as well, because I get asked about it all the time. So what I've just done is I'll just go to my channel, and then if I scroll way down, I didn't realize there's been this many videos. But we're going way back in time, about 2 years, so a bit over 2 years. No, we're not watching that one. Not the equipment one. This was just starting out equipment. All of that stuff I've still got, and I've talked about it in recent videos as well, compared to what I use now. Some of this is okay, it's just I don't use any of it anymore, really. And then we had the first Black Opal Direct unboxing, whetstone, sandpaper. This is the one that we'll look at. So, carving opal with a rotary tool Dremel, sad results. And I've already opened it up here. Now, I could talk about the YouTube optimization stuff, but actually it turns out this one's not too bad for SEO, but I don't pay too much attention to that anyway. It's not a very great performing video to get 2,000 views over 2 years ago. I wish it told me the exact date, but yeah, so you can see here, the lighting, terrible. You can see all these shadows that I'm casting everywhere. You can see the camera's pretty long way out. Now, this was filmed with this. So this here, my Samsung S7 Edge. I recently upgraded this year, so I've got a new phone now. So I'm using a Google Pixel 7 Pro, and I'll have some videos on that because I specifically got this because of the cameras on it, especially the macro camera, which is one thing that my Canon, wherever it is, oh, here it is. So this is my normal camera. I'm just using a webcam for this one. But this one, I don't have a macro lens on, so I need something that can do the macro until I can get a macro lens. It's very hot, so I am going to be wiping away sweat with a towel. And I'll jump around in this video and we'll have a look at a few things, but terrible lighting. So that lighting was done with, basically, in front of my face, I had two, like, bedside table lamps almost, pointing down, and then my phone camera in front of my face, just on a tripod, pointing straight down as well. So really, really not optimum kind of stuff going on right here. And then if we have a quick look at the comments, so yeah, 16 comments. Those are the days. There's my brother. So, yeah, I did, when you start off, you get a lot of comments like this, so it's, you get a lot of criticism from people that don't actually have any videos or anything like that of their own. They just say what they think, and it's not always bad. It is actually, if I look at this, we'll see how far we've come. So yeah, I didn't respond with like a mega negative. You should take on all criticism, good or bad. So I think I handled that one pretty well. You can always go and check any of the comments. All these videos are still up for you guys to look at as well. But yeah, we'll just launch into this one and see how it goes. You can see here that it's really, the footage is really grainy. I've over zoomed in. It's better to zoom in, otherwise your focal point for all of your, oh, and my internet goes down. The focal point for the camera needs to be a set minimum away from the stone. So it's always better to just use the digital or optical zoom on your camera, whatever you've got. But you can see here, I think this ends up cutting into a bit of a jelly bean shape. I remember this stone, I think. I've still got it around. I haven't actually finished this Black Opal Direct beginner's parcel either. But you can see here that it's very grainy. I mean, quality-wise, because the internet's struggling, if I go to the max quality, which I think a lot of people don't really do because their internet, like mine, might be pretty bad, but even at max quality, you can see here it's grainy as hell. The camera's not the best on that old Samsung. You can see that everything, I wasn't over editing, I wasn't changing any color contrast or anything. I've just got the natural grain of the table, which is a huge problem because what the camera will actually do when you've got a small object like this is it tends to focus on that textured grain and tries to bring that in focus, which is always a problem. If you're taking photos or videos of your opal, try to have something blank behind it. Whether it's black, whether it's white. It's easier to do white your camera might try to auto white balance if you do something just pure black, like the cutting mats that I use now are completely black, but I can just control it so that it's not auto white balancing. So definitely keep that in mind. The less texture, the better. I was literally just pointing a phone at a desk. And yeah, I got my old plastic tub. Splatter guard. Was I using any kind of splatter guard during these videos? I actually don't think I was. I think I was still going with, wherever they are, my safety glasses and earmuffs. I would have still been using earmuffs. This is still the same Dremel, same handpiece. All of that still just over here. Electroplated diamond burr on that video from the 50 set, or from my, I think that was my second 50 set. I bought a new one when I started the channel. So, oh, no, I think I've had 2 before that, but I did buy a new set just for the channel, so that would have been my 3rd set. And yeah, no splatter guard. I was making a mess. It was getting everywhere, but I had my eyes covered, my ears covered, and we were going well. And yeah, I wasn't working with the best stuff still. I was comfortable to get into color carving at this point, a little bit before this, but once you add the camera element and the recording, I don't know, it brings on a whole new dimension of just nervousness. So you kind of go backwards in quality in terms of the stones you cut, because you've got this camera in front of your face and all this kind of stuff. It was an interesting time. Actually, if I can get some audio. All right, I'm back, and I think I've solved the issue. So we should be able to hear this now. I'll just monitor up here, and hopefully you guys can hear it. If not, I'll cut this section out of the video. It's like using that 80 grit sandpaper for too long. You can run the risk of starting to get some chips and stuff coming. All right, I can't even tell who's talking there, but I know from those fingers it's me. So for this, I was still talking with this phone and its microphone just sitting right in front of my face. So it's literally just this little built-in microphone here on the phone that I was recording with. Absolutely horrible. If you're ever going to record your voice, just get at least a cheap $100 microphone and you'll be much better off. It sounds incredibly bad. It sounds really nasally, really high, not very clear, and also just the way that I'm talking there, you can tell that I was spooked. I was mega spooked. So that's a little bit of a funny. And during the carving times, all I was doing was speeding up the footage and playing stock YouTube music, which I still do to this day every now and then. You know, you just do what you can when you're starting, and it's just best to get started. Anyone that's talked to me about this, I've always said it's just the most important thing is just to get started. And that's what I need to do with things like the silversmithing. So I need to listen to my own advice. But yeah, it was an interesting time. The video is also 20 odd minutes long. These days I try to aim closer for 10 minutes. I think 20 minutes, it's a bit overkill. I like to watch really long videos. On my second computer just off to the side here, I've got a video that goes for 1 hour and 30 minutes on there at the moment, and I'll watch it all the way through. I never really bail out on videos. I just like to listen to them and watch interesting things. A lot of people, however, if the video doesn't catch them in the first 10 seconds, it's gone. It's gone. Your attention will just drop off completely. But that's only important if you really want to do a YouTube thing. If you're just trying to capture opal, you still need to learn from this, because look at how blue and disgusting this lighting is. This is like a really low CRI LED. If I was cutting anything red, there's no way I would have seen any of it in the opal at all. I think here I'm using a kit that I reviewed on the channel pretty early on. Let's just switch back. Yeah, so this carving burr starter kit. Terrible. Don't waste the money on that one. That was nonsense. I really, instead of buying all of these sets of electroplated burrs and buying these beginner kits, it would have been much better if I just put all of that money into one set of sintered diamonds. I'd still be using them to this day, and I would have actually saved money in the long run, even if I bought them at an incredible price. By the time you go through all these sets and work out they're all garbage, it's a huge money loss. So hopefully I helped people avoid that. Though some of these early videos didn't really get seen. Only 300 people saw that one, and it's really something that I'm saying you've got to avoid this kit. It was terrible. If you want to check it out, check it out. But yeah, it was worse than most other burrs I've tried for opal. You can see here how the diamonds came straight off, just peeled straight off. Absolutely shocking waste of money, but also very cheap. Is it really that cheap if you just have to throw them straight in the bin? Even though I've still got them in storage somewhere. Alright, so I was looking for the end of the video where I have a good look at the stone, but it's not actually here. It's kind of, I just dropped it at this point here and then just stopped. So I must have gone back and revisited the stone. I think it was because during this carving, I was carving away using this kit that we just talked about being absolute rubbish. And I was just immediately disappointed. Maybe this was the first time I'd tested it out. I'm not sure. I feel like I've used it a couple times before this video. But either way, it was just so disappointing to be using these and seeing that they just did absolutely nothing. This is an alternative that I was trying to the Nova points. But yeah, it turned out to be a complete waste of time. These are like a silicon, maybe diamond impregnated silicon, or maybe like a silicon carbide impregnated in silicon, soft tips. Terrible. Maybe good for metal polishing, but not for opals. The video kind of just falls flat. Here I've got the cerium oxide, but I don't actually use the cerium oxide, I don't think. And yeah, the jelly bean is kind of not really finished. So that's a little bit disappointing. I can see that I was running out of time with a 23 minute video to be able to fit that in. That's it's understandable. You can see that I've learned a lot since starting out with this carving, because I probably would have watched this because I didn't really edit it down too much. I just sped up some footage and added some music. I was using a splatter guard. And here I was actually using a GoPro, so I do have a GoPro and splatter guard on that one. That's interesting. I haven't used that GoPro in a very long time. I found that the phone actually had a better camera than the GoPro, pretty much, because the GoPro had a battery that just wouldn't last as long. And the footage, it just came out a little bit strange, and the audio came out a bit weird as well. So I ended up just using the phone and getting a microphone that attached to the phone as well. If I look at my desk, God, it's a lot tidier. You can see here's that LED light. I reckon I would have... Yeah, so this one here I've still got. That's the stand of another light, but it looks like I don't even have it on. I was just using this terrible reading light, basically. Incredibly poor color. And yeah, I've still got the same balance. I've got a little torch here that I was using before I got my new favorite Riley gun torch, and yeah, some drawing scribing tools and cerium oxide just sitting there. Don't do that. If you do that, you'll probably get this tip contaminated. At least put it in a Ziploc bag. There's so many things I've picked up since I was doing this. Yeah, I think the channel has undoubtedly come a long way from this terrible beginning. Absolutely shocking beginning, but without this beginning, none of this would have happened. Hopefully from this, I mean, I've taken a lot of notes from this, and it's even made me think of a few things that I still need to improve a lot. I still need to reduce the shadows, increase the lighting. Probably do still need better audio. This is literally the $100 mic that I suggested everyone get. Just $100. It's better than the built-in microphones for computers and phones and stuff, but it's still not great. And I mean, like this comment down here, I do need to watch some Black Opal Direct videos and try to improve that a lot. It is what it is, and we are where we are. Hopefully a lot of improvements to go, just like we've improved from here to where we are now in 2 years. In 2 more years, who knows, maybe we'll be a half decent channel by then. So I look forward to seeing you all then, and I'm gonna peace out because I am sweating to the point where this towel is getting wet. So I'll see you in the next one.